Hi, this is Blender Chapter 4. We're going to be looking at using the Blender Cycles renderer as well as the mirror attribute for materials. Okay, so you cannot go back and forth between cycles and internal because you will lose a lot of the features that you've used for your materials. So once you switch, stay switched and just leave it at that. So we're going to start off with the Blender renderer just so that you can compare the results between the internal and cycles. I want to make the cube a little bit smaller, and again, you can type in a number. I'm going to make it half the size. Spacebar to accept. I'm going to add a sphere here. Anytime you add a sphere, you'll want to have smooth turned on. And I'm just going to scale this and look at it from the overhead view. And spacebar. And I want to add the monkey. And we're just going to move it over here. Again, take a quick look from overhead. And I want to move this forward just a little bit. And I'm going to want to move it down. Let's move this one down. And just a little bit this way. Okay, the cube seems to be right in between the monkey and the light, so I'm going to lower it a bit. Let's duplicate this light over to the other side. Okay, I want it on this side so it can reflect from here to here and to the camera. This one, I'm going to have to move this one as well so that I can reflect from here onto this face, onto the sphere, and towards the camera. The monkey needs to be smoothed out too. And what we want to do is have a new material. Gray is fine. What I want to do is add mirror. So when you click on this, it's not going to be glossy. It's not going to have a mirror effect. Not until you turn on reflectivity. So for this, I want full reflectivity. Cube. I need a new material. I'm going to make this one blue. And the cube, I'm going to make green. Okay, let's do a quick render just to see what everything looks like. That's not bad. That's what I'm aiming for. Okay, so what I'm missing is I need the ground. Add plane, make this 10, make it purple. That's a light purple. Try that again, render image. Okay, I need to raise the monkey a bit because it's buried into the ground. Let's go to the camera view. And what I want to do is actually raise the camera angle up just a bit. Actually, I'll do this because I don't want to skew the camera. Okay, that looks better. I'll probably want to move the monkey in the frame just a little bit more. Okay, let's take a look at that. Okay, so I can see the cube reflecting off the monkey. What I'd like to do is make the sphere reflective as well. Mirror. Maybe not quite full reflectivity. Render. Okay, so I can see this. And I believe I can reduce this a little bit. Okay, so it's less glossy. It looks more like rough silver. You can make it a little bit more glossy to make that cube show up a little bit better. Okay, and that's good for our internal render. Let's save that. Call it BI for Blender Internal. Okay, let's switch to the cycles renderer. And we can see that our materials have disappeared. We're going to use nodes, use nodes, use nodes, use nodes. Just going to use nodes for everything. Okay, let's just do a quick render to see what's happened by switching to the cycles renderer. Okay, first thing we notice is it's a little bit darker and we've lost the mirror finish. So let's go add that back in. I'm going to turn off the tool shelf. I'm going to turn on the transform panel. I want to split this panel and we can go into nodes. And turn off the transform panel. The nodes editor, you can just zoom in just like any other viewport. And I actually don't want to be on the light. I want to be on the sphere. So we want to add another shader, and that's the glossy shader. And we can pan this viewport as well. I'm holding down the shift key and the middle mouse button. We have two shaders and we're trying to connect it to the output, but it will only take one. So what I need to do is add a mix shader. Okay, so this one goes here, this one goes to the bottom one, and this one goes to the surface. Okay, let's just do a quick render. Okay, I don't see much there. We can leave out the node editor now. We can actually go to this panel and we can open up the individual shaders. Okay, so I don't want any roughness. That will make it more like a mirror. Okay, there we go. Okay, it's very blue, even though it's halfway. So if I increase this number, it'll make it more glossy and less blue. If I decrease this number, it will make it more blue and less glossy. But I want it to be more glossy and less blue. So let's take a look at the render. Okay, so we see that it's less blue. We see these big white dots. Those are actually our lights. They're point lights, so they show up in a scene. And it's hard to get rid of point lights being in your scene when you have reflectivity. Okay, let's take a look at the monkey. We want to add our reflectivity there too. So let's press escape, add shader, glossy, move this over, add shader, mix, connect the bottom one, and we want it to be almost full reflectivity. Okay, let's try that, render image. And we can make this window actually a little bit bigger. Okay, scene is still dark. Let's turn the monkey head a little bit too. Let's use the rotate tool. Okay, let's move that back. Oops. I need to make the lights brighter. Okay, so let's make it 150. I can also choose the lamps from here. That one 150. Okay, that's pretty good. We wanted this to be more silver-like, so we add a little roughness. Okay, the cube's not terribly clear, so let's make it just a little bit more reflective. Maybe we want a higher polish silver. Render that again. Okay, so that's not too bad. Let's do one last fix. There's a lot of pixelated noise here. So we go over to the camera, come down, and we actually want to fix what's called sampling. So if we clamp and set the values to 1, okay, that looks pretty good. And what I'll do is I'll start another instance of Blender. Let's load up our old file and render it. And I'll go to split screen here. We can see the difference. Okay, so the shadows look a little bit better here. The roughness isn't as high here, so I wouldn't say that that's a problem here. But with a more complicated scene, I think you'll find that you'll get a better image from the cycles render. And that completes this lesson.